what is up guys, welcome back to Predatory Exotics. We have got a completely new species for our collection. This is the Devil's Flower Mantis. It's a more advanced species. We've kept a couple mantises in the past. This one's a little bit more tricky, so we're going to be doing a setup inside a setup with lighting and stuff like that. It's a bit complicated. We'll get into it, but we're really excited to start this one.
Alright, so we're going to start off, we're going to be putting, first of all, the mantis is going inside one of these pots and then inside this tank. Because right now the mantis is too small to just go directly in this tank, but this mantis does actually require heating, which is kind of unusual for a mantis. But yeah, we're going to be keeping this guy around 28 to 30 degrees, which of course is quite hot, but they do actually surprisingly bask. These guys are actually found in Africa, so we're going to start off with setting up the pot and then putting it in here.
So as Ollie said, we're going to be housing it in this deli cup to start with. This is a 32-ounce deli cup. Get these off Unseen Universe, which is a really good praying mantis and invertebrate website. You can go on there and it's got pre-drilled holes in it with a very fine mesh. This means that it allows ventilation but nothing can escape, even if you're keeping stuff like fruit flies, which we're going to be feeding this guy on eventually.
So we're going to start off with the substrate, and for the Devil Flower Mantis we're not actually going to be using Arcadia's soil. We're actually going to be using the Exoterra husk along with some of the moss as well. We feel that the husk will do better in kind of like the heat that we're going to be putting it at. But then you're also going to be adding the moss because although they need a lot of heat, they also need quite a humid environment as well. So we're going to be putting in the husk now. We're not going to fill it too deep. Hopefully this won't go everywhere. Nice. And next up we're going to be adding in the moss.
So this is obviously the second layer in the dual layer forest pack from Exoterra. You can get this one, you can get the one with the leaves, or you can get the one with the bamboo leaves as well, which are quite nice, but we've chosen to go with the moss one today.
So we are just going to spray down the husk a little bit, because like we said, these guys do like it quite humid. So an interesting thing about this species of mantis is there's a few videos online, but there's not really any care guides. One of the fun facts we learned is that they're actually communal. They don't really eat each other. So hopefully in the future we'll look into keeping like a couple and maybe then looking to breeding and stuff like that.
So guys, this is what we've gone for as our final setup. We've sort of gone for a sloped look this time. So we've got a coconut husk at the bottom, half sort of moss sort of sloping up to the back. We've got our stick from the other one, and then we just got some other sticks. So these aren't as good as climbing on the slippery surfaces. So there's twigs and stuff. We put a few more smaller ones in, so it's got more space to climb and it'll be able to get up to the top of the mesh. That way if it molts, it can hang from the top of the tank and molt nice and cleanly.
So it is time now to add this guy into here, but we're going to give you a bit of a look at what he looks like. These guys can be quite jumpy like our Congo one was. Our Congo is now more used to being handled, so it's not that much. But here we go. So this is the Devil Flower Mantis. They're quite a skittish breed of mantis. They run away from a lot of things. They don't really hunt their prey. They kind of just sit and wait until it actually comes near them. So you don't want to handle these guys too much as it can stress them out, especially when they're younger. When they're a bit older, they become a bit more calm. But he's got some awesome colours and a cool shape as well.
So you can start to see the colours on him already. Obviously there's the tiny green spots on the back. Once they get to adult sort of coloration, they get big green wings and they have all these purple hues. You can start to see the purples on the abdomen of this one. We're not sure if it's going to be a male or female yet. The females will get bigger and more impressive, so we'll just have to wait and see what this guy or gal turns into.
But as you can see, he is not the best at climbing as he's trying to climb the wall, and they don't have the same kind of like suction as most of the other mantises have. So this one, that's why it requires more twigs and more climbing space. So we're going to go ahead and put this guy in. So these have sharper claws than most mantises, or like arms. You can actually feel them a lot more than what you normally would with any other mantis. So hopefully this guy will just crawl off calmly. Just nudge his back legs a bit. And there we go, he is in. So hopefully he'll have now more space compared to what he was in, and have a bit of an explore around.
So as we mentioned at the start of the video, this one's a little bit more complicated than some of the other mantises we've done in the past. We've got another nano wide terrarium. This is a 20 by 20 by 20. The reason we're using this is because we're going to put the pot inside this tank and then put a heat bulb on top of this mesh. This is so that we heat up this smaller tank and it can get all the food without being in such a big enclosure that it would overwhelm this mantis.
Like a lot of our other mantises, we hand feed a lot of them. This guy eats mainly flies. They have issue eating other stuff. They choose kind of not to. So we can't really put him in such a big tank because he won't really find all the flies. That's why we've got him in a small one, but he still needs the heat.
So we're trying a new product out with this one. We have actually got the Exoterra Nano Reptile Dome. These come with 3 bulbs. It comes with the daylight LED spot bulb, an infrared basking spot bulb, and we're going to be using the daylight basking spot bulb as this will get good daytime temperatures, as we need 28 to 30 degrees for this species.
Such a small bulb. Nice cute little bulb. To also go in this Nano Dome. So this is both Exoterra. We actually haven't really used Exoterra before.
Yeah, we've tried out the Nano Zoomed one, which is working well for our baby dwarf sand geckos, but we just thought we'd try a different one. It's a pretty easy to use. You just get this in the box. It's a small little dome. You can hook it onto an attachment if you want, or you can place it on top of the mesh. Just obviously don't put it on top of the plastic on your Exoterra, otherwise it will melt, which we've seen other people do in the past. And it's a pretty simple on-off switch that we're going to attach to a thermostat in a minute.
So today we will be using the Substrate dimming thermostat. This is a non-digital one. This is just one you turn up and down because it doesn't require too much. It's just kind of, you know, getting it to the right temperature. It doesn't really need to do day and night, as they can do about 20 degrees at night, which is kind of what the house idles at anyways. So we're going to be hooking that up now.
Obviously the reason we're using a dimming thermostat and an on-off thermostat is because it is a light source. With your bulbs, always use a dimming one. This will lengthen the life of your bulb and it won't blow the bulb. If you use an on-off one, the bulb's going to be going on and off too much and you could risk blowing the bulb. So we're going to put them inside the Exoterra now. This tub will just sit in here and then it will warm up this tank a lot more and it will keep them at the temperature that's required for this species. So we'll give you a close-up in a minute. We ran the thermostat probe down the back of the Exoterra, back in, back up, sellotaped it to the back, just between sort of where the top of the enclosure is and the light. This means that when we're taking the enclosure in and out, the probe will stay where it is and keep a nice temperature in the tank.
So we hope you guys have enjoyed our kind of introduction and setup for our new Devil Flower Mantis.
If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as heading over to Instagram for all the daily updates on the different reptiles and invertebrates that we keep.
So we hope you guys have enjoyed and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.